What?
Is that $100 for?
Maybe for a Deemer card.
I think Chris should pay 1,000.
Actually, I was thinking next time I get paid, I actually was thinking about asking if you might be able to grab some.
Yeah, I gotta talk to my homie, but I'll see what's up.
Oh, yeah.
I can text him. No, Chris has to pay in blood.
Chris definitely has to pay him
Chris
blood.
is getting any fucking,
Because-
if Chris is getting any free cartridges from anybody, he has to pay in blood or give us his firstborn son.
I just slice my hand and then pour it into the chalice. Or is it just gonna be like that?
I think it's.
That's what it's running at.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have lightning and thunder currently happening outside. So we apologize for the poor quality and the poor graininess. And if there's any lag, there's nothing we can do about it. Mother Nature said, fuck THC tonight. But it's all right because we're here and we're having a grand old time. How's everybody doing? Logan, go ahead and introduce yourself because you seem like a whole new you right now, dude.
Smoking Challenge brought to you by THC. What's up, y'all? So, Marco was a little sick last week, so we didn't run the pod. Sorry about the little THC break.
But to make it up to you guys, we have a special guest. To Logan's left, we have Darth Sidious. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but that is one of the Sith overlords from the Star Wars franchise. And tonight we have Darth Sidious. Darth, how are you feeling?
I am the Senate. You will smoke that bong. Embrace the power of the stoned side.
Just kidding. That's Chris. But anyway, we're gonna smoke some weed and talk about some cannabis news. But before we talk about the news, cannabis first. What are we smoking on?
I think at the moment, what I don't know what Marco put in that bong over there, but I know in this bong right here, we have this lovely, lovely original glue. At least that's what CBX is calling it. That Marco had so kindly bestowed upon me as a belated birthday present.
The terp profile on there, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
Ooh, oh, all right, respect it, but they're not listing no terp profile on here.
Let me give it a whiff.
They're
Give it a freaking.
they're saying total terpenes 1.84%, THC total 30.11%. So
Hogwash.
yeah, honestly, never believe the numbers.
Real test.
Believe the nose.
Give it
Nose
a smell.
goes, folks.
Give it the real
Nose
test.
goes.
I'm not talking about boofing it.
I'm talking about shooting it.
Ooh, give it a good swoop.
Shoof, there it is.
Ooh, there it is.
Does it smell like cannabis glue?
Definitely smells like cannabis.
Are you getting notes of cannabis?
Yo, is that cannabis?
There's definitely notes of THC in there.
I would love if a customer did that. I'd be like, smells like weed. I would laugh so hard.
Honestly, there's a little sweetness to it, but like a mixture of like a gassy earth, I feel like. But boys, let's pass around. Nose goes. Let's go. It does look very nice though. And it was grinding up very nice, and so far between what we were smoking earlier, it's been very clean, very smooth hits too. Like it's not burning bad.
Holy big farms.
Yeah, well, I have 5 grams of hurricane season over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also have some hurricane season nugs from the Sluggers brand. Another good quality flower in terms of
What is that, a heron?
I really like that. That's good. That's
This
good stuff.
smells-
That's good. I like that. It's kind of sweet. It's piney, sweet. Not very too gluey. Thank you, professional mic holder, Chris. I really appreciate it.
Earthy gas.
You have a whole other hand. You could have taken that shit with. You could put the
Gassy earth. Yeah, earthy gas. Gassy earth.
Yeah,
interesting.
no, but
Gassy earth.
that makes sense.
Gassy earth.
That makes sense
Gassy earth.
because of what
Earthy
like the
gas.
notes that you get first.
Earthy gas. Yeah, actually, that's kind of funny how it is that way. It's almost like the same profile, just inverted between each other.
You're
The law of duality.
You're literally a profile. You're literally a profile.
Thank you for joining us on Talking High Culture tonight, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join us every Wednesday night where we talk about cannabis, cannabis culture, cannabis news, cannabis art, cannabis everything. We are here for you to deliver all your information and good vibes surrounding this God-given plant. I think it's very important. I think it's very important to be blessed with cannabis in our lives the way that we are. Sorry, it's very important to acknowledge how blessed we are the way that cannabis is in our lives.
Yo,
And that
Marco,
we're
how stoned are you already?
pretty stoned.
Like, damn, I can see it.
I'm pretty stoned.
Starts crying. He's like, I just really want to give a shout out to Mary Jane and God for creating this plant
100%.
that we smoke every day.
That video of that little kid freaking out. He's like, I should call my mom. Call my mom.
Yep.
He's all freaking out. His friends are all laughing at him.
What about that one where it's at Thanksgiving? He's like, I'm just so thankful for everything. And he's like kind of trolling, but also like super emotional.
I think it's very important to be thankful for what we got going on here. There's been a lot of changes been made. We've been gone for 2 weeks, right? Right?
1 week.
1 week.
1 week.
We
took
had 1 week off,
One
but
week.
it's been 2 weeks since the last cast,
Yeah.
right? So I think that we should just all make sure that we are loaded as fuck to make up for that time difference.
Like that.
Let me take another hit.
That's
Actually,
legit. That's legitness.
Again, if we have any lag or delay in the video, our apologies.
Yeah, or any little pixelation or anything.
We have any lag,
We
ladies
have
and
some
gentlemen?
storms in the area, so it's affecting our internet a bit.
but it's okay. We're still gonna get some clips out of
We're
this.
still pushing through for y'all because we're here, and we're here with you to get fucking stoned and bring you all cannabis news.
You know what I think about every Wednesday? I wake up and I think about all those people that I have to come here and sweat and smoke this weed for.
Mhm.
And I'm like, God, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely, somebody's got to
Somebody's
smoke
gotta
this.
smoke
Nobody
this
else
weed.
is gonna
And
do
we're
it.
right.
And
We
I'm
are
the
here to
only
smoke
one
this.
that's going to step up to the plate to smoke the weed.
No, you're not. You got 3 bros that'll step up to those.
We're all
plates.
here.
Oh, shit.
We got the whole
got you.
squad.
This is how much THC has generated.
Oh, shit. That's better than zero.
We've earned $1.
No.
I'm really proud of myself, guys, and I'm really proud of you guys.
Yeah, you're right. We didn't earn $1.
We're going to be making
earned
a lot more.
$2.
Throws like $1,000 bill in there.
You know
Like,
what?
we made
We earned
$102.
$12.
Fuck, I got to take $3 home.
And $13.50.
And the use is in.
I got a bag of change too.
That's how much we got.
These guys like, hey, you're holding out on that bag of change for a little long.
Mhm.
I think that's funny.
So on Talking High Culture, we also talk investments.
Investments into our how to get
The new segment on the show.
My investment.
how to get more high.
Stock Market Hour with Marco.
You invest $13.50, right,
Into talking agriculture right now.
into Talking High Culture stocks.
And
Or
we'll-
even just 50 cents.
we will 100%.
It's one or the other. One or the other.
You invest $13 in us, we'll give you $26 back. We'll double your money and give it back to you.
We will double your money, and then you know what? We'll give it back to you. We're gonna take it again, quadruple it, and then give it right back to
And
you
we're
again.
still making money. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
For legal reasons.
Everybody
Not taking it
everybody
seriously.
wins. Everybody eats.
yeah. Everybody eats exactly. And speaking of eating, right? I've been doing a better job eating and working out lately, and I dropped 10 pounds.
Yeah.
It's 11.
Yeah.
Well, 11 pounds, but
So
I'm
don't show yourself.
thank
Don't
you.
show yourself.
Thank you.
That's what we like to
I
hear.
11.
appreciate that. Thank you. I dropped 11 pounds. And on my weight loss journey, I'm not using any kind of stimulants, let's say, or anything like that for the time being. Like I'm going all natural, just diet and exercise on this one. Just run and diet and exercise on this one. But we do have something as far as cannabis. We do have cannabis product that you can use in order to stimulate weight loss, according to this article that we found on Marijuana Moment. Let me go ahead and
It's
Using marijuana components, THCV and CBD every day helps people lose weight, a new study finds. And this is from Marijuana Moment. Ben Adlin, our friend over there, writes the research. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Ben Adlin writes research on the use of marijuana components to aid weight loss found the use of combined product containing cannabinoids, THCV, and CBD was associated with statistically significant weight loss, as well as slimmer waistline, lower blood pressure, and decreased cholesterol.
Okay.
Damn.
But is that just use in general? Because or is that specific to a type of how you ingest it?
Let's find out.
Let's find
The study published late last month in the journal Cannabis analyzed outcomes among 44 people who were administered either oral strips containing a mixture of two cannabinoids or a placebo. Participants took one strip daily for 90 days and were evaluated for weight loss.
Evaluated.
We try that again.
Hey, that-
Get out of here.
Some of you have too much weight. We only want fat people
Fuck
living
outta
here.
Hey, apparently if
Get
you
out.
lose 11 pounds, you become illiterate.
Yeah, that is true.
Are you sure it's weight or is it brain mass?
You losing brain
Is
matter?
it weight or eyesight?
I lost a little gray matter.
Lost a little new.
They said I'm looking a little thin in the
joke
face.
right there.
Participants took one strip daily for 90. It says right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Evaluated.
90 days.
Participants took one strip daily for 90 days and were evaluated for weight loss and certain metabolic markers.
See, my thing with that is out of only 44 people, like how legit is that kind of study?
Exactly.
It's a
Is
very
that-
small sample size.
You know what I mean?
You
Like,
can't even get 100%.
I feel like you need a
There's-
bigger
100.
testing pool.
There's
Yeah.
never going to be cut and dry answers, though. There's
Yeah.
never going to be
Yeah,
like,
never.
this is the way it is for every
No, I know it's not going to be cut and dry answers, but at least including a larger percentage
Yeah.
of people in the study
Yeah.
will give you a better accuracy of how it affects majority of people.
Yeah, because only 44 people.
Billions.
It's not even like a true like 1% kind of thing, like one individual person out of
Exactly.
100.
Not
But
even the world.
also, this is an interesting thing to think of. Is it only something right like is it only something that you would want to report about if it's good? Say they did these experiments and nothing came about it, but they did the experiment. But we don't know about it. We only know about the good experiments that had good results, or at least results worth reporting for. So this is to say this could be the third one of 44 people. So they could be doing different. So this could be, along the lines they could have already done so many tests, but had nothing to report.
But then in my opinion, they should publish that so that way there's more like of a paper trail of like,
Well,
hey, we
hold on.
tried. You know what I mean?
Just
so like,
just to kind of
people
like
have
logic
more
that one
facts.
through.
Huh?
Just to kind of logic that one through.
Yeah.
Like you're saying that if they had multiple tests that they done that didn't report anything and then found this test that did report these numbers.
And they're only reporting this one.
Well, think about it this way: it's like, yeah, if the time that they do report, they are going to report the numbers because it's like, oh, this is the
There's something to report.
there's finally something to
Like
it.
I want to see what it would make me feel better and make me feel like more informed. So on his point, like if they were telling us like those tests that failed.
Mhm.
You
Well,
know what I
then
mean? Like, I would want to know what
the likelihood-
difference is, what the percentage
well, then the
is, like,
likelihood-
how many people out of this many people like actually saw results.
Okay.
And what's the
Yeah, yeah.
percentage of like this populace?
So
you know
then
what I
to
mean?
use both of your lines of logic, the likelihood is that this is the first time that this test has been done. Therefore,
Yeah.
they're reporting these numbers.
That makes sense.
But
yeah.
where's the failure still? Where's the anti-result? Oh, but we still have more of the article.
Yeah, and I don't think that there's so much like things to report as like failure, so much as there is like this is what
Or
was
not
the
failure, but like
Yeah, like there's not like a
intended results.
yeah, like I don't even think that there is.
That's a better term. Non-intended results.
Well, see, that's the thing is I don't even think that there is intended results. I think that th're just reporting
On results.
Yeah,
You see, I can't agree with this because I just feel like you can't put weight loss under like one reasoning.
Oh,
You know what
I
I'm
don't think
saying?
that they're attributing to one reasoning. The whole point is just to say like, hey, let's let's get through the article first,
Yeah.
so that way we have more founded information before we say like,
But we're on a good
Well,
track
we-
though with like how
yeah.
we're thinking about shit.
Let's go
because
back.
there's not really anything to disagree with yet, because we're just barely getting into
The
what's
fact that
going on.
It's got us thinking like this.
It-
There's a
I
nice-
think the only thing that is worth acknowledging is that it's a small sample size of 44 people, right? And that's the only thing that I feel is, to say nitpicky, is like, it's hard to gauge just off of 44 people.
Mhm.
But let's see what they actually found amongst those 44 people.
Mhm.
Use of the THCV and CBD strip was associated with statistically significant weight loss, decreases in abdominal girth, systolic blood pressure, and total and LDL cholesterol, says the report, authored by Dr. Gregory Smith, the founder and CEO of a plant-based medicine company, Next Therapeutics, which is based in Florida. Participant 31, of whom were female and 13 of whom were male, with a combined average of about 52 years, were either given a placebo or one of two different mucoadhesive oral strips, so just like a tab, right? The lower dose version contained 8 milligrams of THCV and 10 milligrams of CBD, while a higher dose version had 16 milligrams of THCV and 20 milligrams of CBD. Subjects received a reminder to take a dose each day on an empty stomach and report any side effects, and they agreed to refrain from using cannabis or other cannabinoid based products. These participants were not asked to make any changes to their diet or exercise routines. So I think one thing that's important is that it's mostly women.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Not to cut you off, but like women do experience a lot, like a different and a lot more muscle pain depending on lifestyles and like a whole bunch of other factors.
Mhm.
But if we're just talking about generic biology, like everyone's the same. Women, because of having fucking periods,
Mhm.
do no, but like it's a legit thing. It's a weird thing for like just a bunch of four guys to talk about, but to acknowledge a study that's like saying like pain decrease abdominal girth, like and all that, like that would attribute to things like women when they get that time of the month when they're bloating because they're having their period, so they're bloating, they're in a lot more pain, they're cramping, so that would attribute to having such higher results
Yeah.
of these things saying like, oh, it's taking a little bit of weight off me. It's taking some of this, like, it's taking a lot more of uh the inflammatory of all the muscles being inflamed from like going through all like that extra pain. You know what I mean? Like, so depending on also like the time that some of these women may have gone through the study, where they were at with their bodies, that could have affected a lot of things too.
Yeah, I do
know what I
think
mean?
that this having well, that's basically like a 3-to-1 ratio of women to men in the study, and then only being 44. I mean, it may be having information that
How many
is,
dudes is that? Like 15?
13. So
13. Yeah.
I'm fucking on one. Let's go.
I do see how the study could probably benefit from being a little bit more, like the title could be like, it could help women. It could be attributed to
be a
more
little bit
weight
more
loss.
specific with like between the subjects of like what it actually helped with.
Yeah.
Because
Well, but maybe those 13 men, maybe they received positive results.
no,
as
they
well.
probably did too, but I'm just saying like that's with the majority of women there, you have to take like what the effects of what we've seen in the article already into account.
Yeah.
With the ratios of everything.
It's interesting because I mean, we all know what THCV and CBD do.
Hopefully, at least we do here in the chat. We can go over that later after we're done with the article.
And
just to
we
make them
have gone
aware.
on over here. We have
Yeah.
gone on. We have gone.
We can do
Over it.
We can do a little refresher course, for everyone after we're done with this.
I'm just stemming over there.
It was tough to get through that one. We have gone over it here on the cast before.
Fucking him with a.
But THCV being the energy stimulant, and then CBD being the cannabinoid responsible for a little bit more
but
relaxing
also,
their neurons.
THCV by itself, is that psychoactive?
No, THC on its own is non-psychoactive. It's more of just a
That's
general
crazy.
mood
And like
elevated
energy, like elevation. Kind of.
So that's the only THC molecule that has THC in front of it that's non-psychoactive because THCA becomes THC,
Yeah,
which
and
ends up getting you.
I think there's a THCG as well, but like yeah, there's only like what like those would be the only
that
two.
one isn't as known. We're gonna get into that one, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about that.
Now, we should think about it.
But that's very interesting because a lot of people don't know about anything labeled as THC. You're at least me, just right now, would have thought that it would have been psychoactive. Let's get on to the art.
Of 24 people who received the lower potency oral strips, 16, so 66.7%, demonstrated weight loss over the course of a 90-day period, average losing 2.6 kilograms or 5.7 pounds. Among the 10 who received the higher dose strips, seven of them, so 70%, lost weight an average of 41 or 4.1 kilograms or 9 pounds. The 10 subjects who received the placebo, meanwhile, lost an average of just zero point 0.1 kilogram, 0.2 pounds. So, of the people who took the THCV and the CBD strips, they all reported at least some type of weight loss, men or women. And then the 10 people who received the placebo, they had no weight loss reported. So I think that's why, even though they have a small sample size, they're comfortable saying like, well, look, even with just this a little bit, we saw some results.
More than enough.
Yeah. Um,
At
near,
least for the higher dose strips, it was
Mhm.
more than that.
nearly all, so 95% in the lower dose group saw reductions in abdominal girth,
Yep.
as did 70% of the higher dose subjects.
So that's not like inflammatory shit from either like working out or being active or like I said, like women on the periods, like they're fucking shit, like they get the cramps and everything inflames.
Yeah.
So that makes actually a lot of sense with majority of their test subjects being women as well.
I don't want to speak on for all. Ooh, I just saw static right there. That was crazy. Anyway,
Yeah. Also, yeah, I want to agree with that. Same with whatever you're about to say. Not
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
speak for women.
yeah, I don't want to speak for all girls and say that like they're all going through inflammation and bloating and all this through
Or like yeah,
through
not everybody's
periods.
pain's the
And,
same.
yeah, not everybody's period experiences are the same.
Yeah,
Um,
and honestly, it's a 90-day period, so they would at least be going through it you know,
one 3 times.
yeah, up to three
No,
times.
it's not a lot of weight to lose over 3 months. Like you
Yeah.
can lose like
But that's probably
that's like water weight and you
Exactly.
not eating
Exactly.
one day.
Yeah.
Like I could weigh 10 pounds less in fucking 24 hours if I
Yeah.
just don't drink water and
Exactly.
eat food.
so. There's a lot of factors that contribute.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
there is probably a benefit, and yes, it does work in a very small like percentage. It helps,
Mhm.
but there are a lot of other factors that are in fucking weight loss.
Yeah,
and
that is true.
And food and the clothes you're wearing and
Yeah.
a whole bunch of shit. You
So
know?
I feel like that it would benefit them if they included like how in depth like their study was. Like were they
They may have
controlled?
gotten that in depth.
Like
but we
were
just don't know.
yeah.
I
At least
think-
based on this article, like
Yeah.
did they control diets and shit like that?
You
You know
know,
what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing too is that like they're just saying like, hey, look, these people should live their normal lifestyles, and we're gonna go ahead and introduce these.
Like
in there.
control groups.
which is exactly why I think the purpose of this is to kind of seem more of like a daily supplement thing, like
Mhm.
something you could supplement into your life that can actually do good for you, but is a part of like the THC family. So they're like trying to branch
Basically a
off.
multivitamin.
They're trying to branch off into being like, yo, this is also holistic. This is also good for you. This kid is like a diet supplement.
Yeah,
Like you don't necessarily
an
need
alternative
to
to creatine or
yeah,
something.
you don't need to
Exactly.
go out of your way to
Not like
like
that, but
Not
you
an
know,
alternative,
do any
but, you know.
specific routines or
Another
diets.
supplement.
Like
Yeah.
it's just something
just
you
another
put-
supplement.
a vitamin,
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And so this could also like branch off to like a lot of brands in terms of the fitness industry already do proprietary blends as it is, meaning they put whatever the fuck they want
They could add
into it. So
similar
they could add
things.
something like that in it. You know what I mean? The shit they put in that shit doesn't have a lot of research behind it anyway. So it's like, yeah,
Mm.
it opens up a lot of things when you think about it like that.
What I think is interesting is at the dispensary that we work at, we have products that are capsules that have THCV and THC. And then that same company also sells THC, CBG, CBD capsules. And honestly, if you were to think of it in terms of supplements, it'd just be taking a pill of each of those, you know, and you'd get you get probably an okay high if you're good with edibles. And then also having the benefit of the THCV to give you that kind of little bit of an energy, you know, just an alternative to caffeine, let's say. and then with the CBG and the CBD, just having general body relaxation and it being beneficial to how your body processes these just post workout, post diet, just incorporate it as a supplement, like they were saying, into there.
I would argue that being at least a little bit high, like on a 5 milligram dose or something, and working out is way better than working out sober, bro. Just even a little bit of dose could get you like in the zone, and you'd be like, "Damn, let's fucking go."
A guy asked me the other day at the gym. He was like, "Do you smoke before you come in here?" I'm like, dude, I smoke all day, every day. I smoke weed, and I was like, why? And he was like, because I want to, but I'm scared. And I was like, why are you scared? And he was like, because I get stuck. And I'm like, yeah, probably shouldn't smoke weed and then come to the gym if you're still getting like that high where you're like
You gotta start practicing.
just looking around at stuff.
Home, like when it's like your off day from the gym,
Yeah.
and just like try to start doing little things like chores around the house.
Yeah. And then I had another guy ask me, he was like, is it weird that I smoke before I come in here? I'm like,
Not at all.
no. And I'm like,
Zero.
you're stressing about it. Like, we know that you smoked before you came in here. Like, nobody fucking knows. Nobody knows
cares
that you're
either.
high,
Yeah.
you know?
And nobody's gonna care.
Nobody's gonna care.
Dude, there
smoke all the time.
every time me and him smoke before the gym, like he'll say he's pretty high, but like by the time we're done with cardio, it's kind of like we're
It's
kind of
somewhere-
dropping off.
It's tapered off by the time I'm done with the cardio.
But it gets you into the cardio. You're like
Yeah.
zoned in. You're like 6 minutes in. You're like, oh shit, I've been fucking running.
Being really high and going to the gym's fun.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and take like a Huxley before hopping into the
Edible?
gym. Yeah.
I have the tablets, the energy tablets from Heavy Hitters. We'll take those tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We'll take those at work before you go change.
You go tomorrow?
So hey, it's THCV.
It is THC.
So yeah, you're not down, bro.
He might take me, depending on how his day looks. He might show me the geyser spot. I'd be down to go.
Geyser?
do that.
Huh? Oh,
The
Brittany
Yeah.
Springs. You have off tomorrow?
Yeah, I will tomorrow.
We're going at
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Actually,
we're going at like 5.
yeah, we'll talk about that later. After we're off pod. Let's get back to it.
Okay.
And the THC.
We got off on a
Yeah.
tangent. Don't
All
mind us. We're just a bunch of stoners.
We're talking about
That's not
personal.
how it
We're
is.
talking about personal shit now.
The THCV CBD groups also showed reductions in systolic blood pressure as well as total and LDL cholesterol, the research found. In summary, the 90-day use of once daily THCV and CBD infused mucoadhesive strips was associated with clinically significant weight loss, decreases in abdominal growth, systolic blood pressure, and total and LDL cholesterol. The report concludes, adding that a stronger dosage appeared to perform better. The 16 milligram, 20 milligram daily dose in Group B was superior for weight loss compared to the 8 mil and 10 mil dose in Group A. Despite being limited by relatively small sample sizes, Smith said the findings nevertheless align with past unpublished research using product called hemp oil, which contains THCV, CBGV, and CBD.
Important note: thus far within this article, did they note the state in which the temperaments to weed that people had?
Like any pre-exposure, like what they
Like how where the tolerance lied. So that's kind of pretty inconsistent.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
That matters.
Yeah,
That matters.
it does matter. And if we try to logic our way into the type of people who would take this study, we can at least assume that they have familiarity with cannabis.
So they didn't mention explicitly where those people, but somewhere early in the article they did mention something about that though.
Yeah, but they've never
know.
like THCV, you know.
Yeah, and then that's the other thing
like
too.
isolated.
Yeah, this isn't supposed to be psychoactive, THCV and CBD.
It's trying to isolate the cannabinoids and see what the isolated effects are.
Yeah, maybe I would think that if any of these people might have had any previous association with cannabis, I would think that it would just help them achieve those effects because like they already got the cannabinoids in their system. They're responding to THC.
Like before, so it's like familiar with it.
A peripheral question in the study asked whether the use of THCV would result in a positive urine drug test for THC. Of 9 people who took the higher dose oral strips and consented to a urine test, 77.8% tested positive. All 9 subjects again denied the use of THC during the course of the study, Smith wrote, suggesting that some of the THCV metabolites excreted in urine will register as THC metabolizes on a drug test.
But that makes sense
Yeah.
because while it's in your body, it's being processed and also like
Tetrahydrocannabinol.
yeah, and your internal body temperature is at least 98.6, but also being heated up in like acid and evaporated like that, and your stomach acid is gonna probably heat it up and create some type of chemical reaction as well.
In a similar way.
Yeah.
The strips themselves contain no detectable amount of THC, according to the third-party lab test. Other recent research into minor cannabinoids has similarly found that the compounds might affect the metabolism and, by extension, weight loss. Research published last year into cannabigerol, CBG, noted that it showed more promise in treating metabolic syndrome.
What? That sounded almost like a little racist.
Don't even. We're gonna pass that.
Oh yeah, pass
Which
that.
is linked to the development of other ailments such as cardiovascular disease, liver disease, and type 2 diabetes.
Recent studies on CBG provide a potential pharmacotherapy strategy for metabolic syndrome. The report said, noting that CBG is the sole known cannabinoid that activates the androgen
Androgenic.
Nope.
adrenergic.
Wow.
Adrenergic.
Okay, so energetic.
Adrenergic.
There we go. That dude.
The
No one
adrenergic
was reading that right the
That
first
has to
time.
do with your
Adrenergic.
based off of the beginning of the word has to do with something with your adrenaline.
That's my son's name. Adrenergic.
The review added that CBG has been shown to reduce appetite and induce weight loss by blocking CB1 receptors and to increase the activity of brown adipose tissue, BAT, which is responsible for burning calories and generating heat. HUM 234, a derivative of CBG, has been shown to prevent high fat diet induced weight gain and lower serum levels of liver enzymes ALT and AST.
A separate study last year found that regular marijuana users were likely to be obese than people who don't consume cannabis. In fact, the analysis showed a dose response relationship between marijuana use and body mass index, with the lower the BMI classification, the higher marijuana use. People who'd use what? Oh my gosh. No. The grammatical errors in this are terrible.
Yeah.
People who'd used
I
Guys.
think they mean to say people who had used,
no people
but
who
it looks
used.
weird like that.
People who used.
Yeah.
People who used cannabis within the past month were 31% less likely to be obese than non-users after adjustment. The study says, while daily marijuana users are 32% less likely to be obese than non-users. Interesting.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting.
Likewise, people who were obese reported significantly lower rates of past month marijuana use. The study found that the prevalence of use among obese individuals was 35% lower than non obese respondents to the survey, a finding consistently observed across the levels of certain demographic variables: employment status, tobacco smoking history, marijuana legalization status, and certain medical conditions, asthma, arthritis, and depression.
Some tobacco smoking. And you put the comment.
I didn't realize those. Separate research published in 2020 found that compared to older adult non-users, older adult cannabis users had lower body mass index at the beginning of an exercise intervention study, engaged in more weekly exercise days during the intervention, and were engaging in more exercise related activities at the conclusion of the intervention. I am just going to state this right now. I don't think this was written properly grammatically.
No,
They're
yeah,
doing
horrible.
terrible.
That one particular.
Grammar's
But I
really
will.
Yeah.
But to clarify, what they're saying is that in a different study that is similar, they found that just by participating in the study, those people kind of adjusted their lifestyle to also like benefit these results. So um, there may be like an opportunity bias, I feel. Like you're participating in a study that's meant to measure weight loss while you're taking this supplement. So then you're gonna probably adjust your lifestyle to accommodate that, right?
Yeah. Right.
Unless they had like different control groups, the placebo. They had one group that was people that was like, hey, just go about whatever
When
your
they
normal
mentioned
routine
it in the
is.
beginning of the article,
And
they said they don't make any changes to exercise or diet routines.
Yeah. But yeah, that would require them
No,
to
but
do
they
that.
could have
Yeah,
taken
you're right.
groups of people like,
Right.
they could have picked a certain amount of people that like, oh, you guys go to the gym and that's part of your daily life. Okay, we're gonna give you this. Don't change anything about your gym routine.
Hmm.
You guys are just everyday people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you guys don't really care about going to the gym. You're just fine with where you're at, like, and you're happy. We'll give half of that group that lower dose or whatever, and we'll give the other group, that other half of the group, placebo.
Yeah,
And
because
I
it's
think
not.
if the average people, the placebo.
But that would mean that these results do hold promise, because otherwise, even with the placebo, if those people were still to be affected by that some type of bias, so like the whole idea is you tell them don't change your lifestyle, but other studies kind of show like psychologically say like people end up changing their lifestyles anyways, right? So the placebo is also an important factor to say, hey, look, well, if on a grand scale they're all doing this, the placebo would be there to say, hey, well, it it doesn't not do it for sure, right? Like it at least says that these people who are all participating in this lifestyle, regardless as to whether or not that bias kicks in and alters their lifestyle, right? That would show in the result for the placebo, right? Like there would still be some type of result anyways with placebos to say, okay, well then it's not the TCV or CBD at all, right? But the fact that there were no changes with the placebo, that does show that, all right, there's at least some credence to this affecting the body in any particular.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Boom.
And boom. That's it.
Another 2024 study found. Oh, were you going to?
Right.
Yeah.
Another 2024 study found that young to midlife adults were neither more sedentary nor more intensely active after consuming cannabis. In fact, recent marijuana use was associated with marginal increase in light exercise. Our findings provide evidence against existing concerns that cannabis use independently promotes sedentary behavior and decreases physical activity. Authors of that paper wrote, adding that the stereotypical lazy stoner archetype, historically portrayed with chronic cannabis use, does not acknowledge the diverse uses of cannabis today. So yeah, like the lazy stoner stereotype doesn't really just apply anymore.
No, it definitely doesn't. 'Cause honestly, I feel like that died out a long time ago. Because even when I was in high school and like I was smoking, like I loved being out and like doing shit when I was high. Like it makes me want to like be more active.
Bro, people that work at dispensary jobs or any type of like pod jobs, those are literal functioning highs. And me and Marco get shit done while being blitzed off our asses.
It feels good too.
It does though. Like not for nothing. Like when you can go into your job and honestly, I do this.
and handle your shit.
I do this at my job.
Swear to God.
Like you go in, you can handle your shit like and be pretty fucking like stoned as shit.
Yo,
Compared to other dudes that can't eat, other motherfuckers that are sober as shit and
still
can
can't do it.
barely function.
yo,
You know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous.
this guy, Chris, got me to drink my first like work
Yo,
lunch.
you buzzed.
He got me fucked up. He got me to drink my first lunch, like twisted tea. He popped one out when we were playing Super Smash Bros. Because when he still worked with us, we would come over here on lunch and fucking smoke and play Super Smash Bros. And he would pull out a twisted tea, and I was like, "Let me get one of those one time, bruh." This is back in the day. Fuck it. The statute of limitations. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
This was over way over here.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I would come back and be like, God damn,
And
Chris.
you could have one, and you'd see me drink like 2 or 3.
Yes.
And then I'd go back and I'd be supervising that shit.
No, you're not wrong though.
awesome.
The shit that
Yeah, not
I
gonna
can
lie,
be
yeah.
this high, going to work, function normally, nothing, no fuck ups, no like twisted over my tongue talking to customers or none shit. And then there are people who aren't high who can't even work normally.
Yeah.
I'm like, how make that make sense?
And that's how
I'm like, am I a superhero?
Yo, and that's how literally how I feel my job so many times going in there. Like I'm sitting there like on my way in, like And yeah, and I'm like, yo, like I'm high as shit. Like I may have smoked a little bit too much, and I go in there, I'm like, why are you guys all struggling right now? Like this is nothing. And I come in and I'm fucking Captain Sabaho. You know what I mean? And within like 20 minutes, like I got everything back together. Everyone's fine. I'm like, that took. I'm like, no, that took fucking nothing for me to do. You guys been here all day and like you're sober shit. Like, what's wrong with you?
I think that's maybe why we can do that shit. Yeah.
Because like I mean I'll admit like I grew up like being especially like early high school like being a functional like addict in a sense. You know what I mean with
Yeah.
like weed and just being a high school kid like experimented with a ton of shit like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I learned at an early age like how to function in public like while like being just fucking
But there's another thing.
high on anything and being able to perform like even at jobs like some of my first jobs like I have gone into jobs as like a 20 year old 21-year-old like drunk as fuck and been able to hold my own not get noticed and outperform half the motherfuckers there you know what I mean
There's one
so
thing that's showing up in public.
it's not a sorry
But there's like actually like you can come out in public and be good, but actually like performing your duties, like how you said, that's a whole nother thing, bruh. Like
it's not just something I'm proud of. Like I'm bragging about, like,
it is.
oh yeah,
it should be.
I can get fucked up and do my job
It
better
should
than
be.
sober people.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
It's not.
I can
Something
see
that-
why it shouldn't be.
it's not
Like, you know what I
something
mean?
I've learned. It's not something that they have a healthy life.
Amongst other stoners, that's like something you're like,
Being able to
yeah.
say that you can get fucked up and still be in control of yourself is
Yeah, kind of is a flex. Yeah.
But being like, I can get so fucked up that I don't trip over myself is kind of like that's not a flex.
Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
you suck.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's a
My
weird.
brother.
It's a weird thing. It's like, brother, are you okay? Like,
You gotta hit with a brother if you want to get to the field.
at the same time, I'm like, oh, I'm not good, but I can still fucking outcook your ass.
So if I can perform complex equations.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're still not past this article.
No, but I mean, THC, you guys are here with us. You know us. You know, we get through our news with you. But you know, we're a bunch of stoners at the end of the day. We all get sidetracked sometimes with random combos because, like, we're just high and, like, something jogs our memory. And then each one of us is remembering something else off that. But that's what we're all here for, right?
We got
Just-
chat. We got
You know what I
chat.
mean?
All gas, no brakes had a chat, but it's gone now. But it said, I run circles around sober people.
Yeah, let's go, all guys.
And I get a runner's high. Link to the marijuana use enhanced runner's high and lower pain during exercise.
Damn, it fucking got
Participants-
deleted. He deleted it.
Cut the man off.
There could have been an error.
Continue, Marco.
My bad.
Participants experience less negative effect, greater feeling, and a positive effect, tranquility, enjoyment, and disassociation, and a more runner's high symptoms from the cannabis versus non-cannabis runs, according to those findings. Like we were just talking about, like with the cardio, you're able to kind of like lock in and get that runner's high through. And in 2021, researchers found that frequent marijuana consumers actually are more likely to be physically active compared to their non-using counterparts.
Gang.
Yet another study in 2019 found that people who use cannabis to elevate their workout tend to get a healthier amount of exercise. It also concluded that consuming before or after exercise improved the experience and aided in recovery.
Gang.
A recent study into CBD, meanwhile, found that the cannabinoid could benefit competitive runners by helping to reduce the anxiety and perceived exertion. So, all good things coming from THCV and CBD, and it really helps explain how, at least to the smallest degree, how with cannabis users, they are generally breaking the stereotypes of the lazy stoner by just living
A normal life.
somewhat
Yeah.
normal, active life.
Not, I don't like the term normal. Let's say average.
Average
An
lifestyle.
average human life, like the same thing that any other person's doing, going to the gym, going to work, and everything, but they can tolerate having THC in their life
Mhm.
in some form or capacity.
Everybody has cannabis in common. You know, there are people who are obese, and when they consume cannabis, and they kind of helps. They're not helps, but it
Doesn't
definitely.
help if it's
No, not help, not help.
Sorry.
there
I
are people-
apologize. Internet, I apologize. That was kind of out of pocket.
What I'm saying is like those people who are obese, you know, maybe they consume cannabis and they get a little bit too much of the munchies, and that encourages that, right? But then there are also people who live healthier lifestyles where they're just using it in these particular ways. So like everybody still has weed in common, and some people use and abuse it. Other people use in a way that benefits them, right? And it's all about moderation. It's all about how you use the plant. The plant itself is not bad. That it doesn't encourage any kind of negative sedentary lifestyle. So one, there's no real excuse for you to be like, oh, I smoke too much weed and that's why I'm fat.
No, well, it's more so you didn't know your limit and you smoked yourself to the point where you're too stoned.
Yeah.
Instead of finding your sweet spot where you're stoned but functional.
Yes. Right.
And people
And being able to be active and have an active
exactly.
lifestyle.
They're just like, yo, like I got all this weed, let me just smoke it anyway. That's why people think that's that lazy stoner like stereotype.
Yeah.
Is because they're like they don't know how to fucking just pace themselves. Essentially,
I would say
I feel like that's new stoners.
That sentiment is something that does drive me, and especially over the past couple of weeks, being in the gym and then working on, my whole entire just the way that I eat. Um, it the breaking the lazy stoner stereotype is like a secondary benefit, but it's not something that I haven't considered. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm out here, I'm doing my shit, and I'm just living a normal life, and I just so happen to smoke weed. And actually, I just so happen to have a group of friends, an entire network, support network, a learning network, a platform, something that can add to our lifestyles and generate what's the word? Opportunities for us, and prosperity is the word I'm looking for. Opportunities and prosperity,
Bruh.
just with cannabis.
Yeah, and me and Marco had an idea for like some, because I was talking about the whole adrenaline thing. Like, how often do you think of that? And he was like,
Not as much as this guy.
I mean, no. Because I think about it all the time. I get motivated by adrenaline junkie stuff all the time. Like, I'm like, damn. I go down the rabbit hole of I want a fucking motorcycle. Like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking try and buy one. Let me see if I can get one. You know what I mean?
It's like to go like that fast.
Exactly. But then he mentioned like he's like, yeah, man, I can't really go into the whole of skydiving and then wanting to skydive and trying to book a skydiving session. Like, I'm realistic about it. Like, I think about it, and then it passes because I already know. You know what I mean? So, and then I was like, oh yeah, indoor skydiving. That's at Roseville.
Let's do it.
That's cool. No, okay. So I looked into it. For a Groupon, one of the specials was $120 for 2 flight sessions for one person. So and it doesn't even list how long the flight sessions are, but I have done an indoor skydiving thing with my dad before in a group, and you only get 2 like minute sessions.
I'd rather just go real skydiving though.
Exactly. It's kind of bullshit because
I feel my life on the line.
like yeah. I really want to be in that bitch and really like fucking levitate. I don't want to fucking like
I want to
fall.
Like, oh shit! Like,
Yeah. Indoor skydiving is a little bit safer though.
Yeah.
A lot of bit safer. You're not gonna fucking die.
What happens is that fan breaks and you're just shredded.
I mean, you have nets.
What if the fan sucks the nets up?
I feel like
What ifs all day.
Whoa.
Well, if the fan sucks the net off.
Well, so he's just concerned with because skydiving. There's only one what if. What if you die?
What if your
You just fall.
What if your 2 parachutes don't work?
Yeah. What if your instructor sucks that bad?
Dude, I watched this
you
video.
have to do like 100
I know
hours
what you're
of
gonna say.
skydiving.
I watched this video the other day of
go by yourself.
this group of people went skydiving, and one of the dudes jumped out and forgot to put his parachute on, and realized it as he was falling. Like he didn't know he was, because everybody's like, "All right, let's go," and everybody's getting hyped and ready. They're like, "All right, go," and they all jump out, and he jumps out with no parachute on, falling, and then realizes he doesn't have his shit on, like a couple 100 feet from the plane. And I'm just like, could you imagine that soul-crushing terror realization that
You would
you're
have
gonna
to-
die
You
and
would have to
fucking
go like this toward a person and be like,
Oh, I'd be like, yo, look at my back.
Yo,
You just
dude.
flung at them like, yo,
Bro,
look at my back. There's nothing there.
So
I got no shoe.
that's a fucking prime example of human error.
Yeah.
So they tell you during indoor skydiving, you go through classes, you have to put on some shit, and you have to like know certain things that's gonna happen during the flight thing before you go into it. And one of the most important things that actual skydivers use is it's kind of like a cat thing. When cats become like
Flat.
flat and go back to like their feet, It's because you have to arch your back and you have to basically go like this, like flat on the ground. Put your feet like back.
Put your
Yeah,
arms,
back
like
straight.
your arms, everything above your
You're
above your
basically-
torso.
You're
essentially.
using your lower back to help you maneuver.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
all lower back.
So yeah, you really have to like flex that shit and keep yourself out and kind of like balance. And bro, when that tunnel's going at you and that air is actually going at you, bro, to get yourself to, it's basically like squirrel flying as best as you can, like getting the most spreading yourself as most thin to get the most drag you can. It's fucking hard. And
Yeah,
you need to be
like-
in the right fucking position to do that shit. It's not easy to get to actually float in the tunnel, bruh.
Did you say
It takes
Dad
a
was
lot.
the only one that could
My dad was the only dude who actually got a decent levitation in the whole thing, and was able to hold himself in the whole tunnel. Because, like I said, you only get a minute, so that's like you're fucking starting to levitate, and you're like trying to hold yourself, but it's fucking hard to keep this position. And during the videos, they're telling you there's a mirror that you're in, because there's a guy holding you to make sure you don't fucking fly up. So he's holding you, and he's also giving you like signs to do. Because if you're doing something wrong, he'll be like, okay, flatten out. He'll be like this with his other
okay,
hand.
so-
And you have to be looking in the mirror, kind of focusing on that. But you're so like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, okay, I gotta flatten up. So I'm flattening. And then your time's up. You know what I mean?
And that's just to simulate like what it would be at natural falling. You know, like imagine like being in motion. Like you know how like they train the astronauts, they put them in those G-force spinners and stuff.
I'd say falling.
do that shit.
I'd say falling is no G-force. That G-force training is completely
No,
different.
no,
It's different, but like just
you're talking about when they put them in the plane and they take the plane up hella high and then they nose dive.
That's zero G.
simulates
Well,
He's
that's zero G.
where they're in the they're just in a little thing and
That's
it goes in
spinners.
circles.
That's G testing.
Yeah.
That's
So-
completely different
It-
than simulating gravity with the plane diving down.
No,
That's zero
I
G.
understand
That's
that,
just zero
but
G.
like as far as like your body's concerned and like just general like forward moment. Oh, I guess in that one you're getting the circular movement as well, in the thing that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But like just the sheer like force of your body moving at an incredibly high speed under different circumstances, right? Like it's your body just under so much tension and pressure, you know. Same thing could be said like for the deep sea divers when they go up to a certain point where all the pressure is getting.
Oh, because they have to go through.
There's only one way to hit terminal velocity though, and that's skydiving. You can't read TV without you can't do that through a tunnel. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
Through
yeah.
indoor skydiving,
I could see why.
you have to jump. Yeah, you can't reach terminal velocity
Yeah,
without a proper height
it's
and
just to
actually
recreate,
falling with your entire weight.
What is it, like 200 miles an
Yo,
hour?
you remember
Um,
the fucking the Red Bull dude that fell from the fucking
Felix Baumgartner. I'll always remember his name. That's exactly who his name.
Broke the sound barrier.
You could look him up. It's Felix Baumgartner.
Like,
And
he
yes, he
almost
is the
came
man who
close to
jumped
it.
from the stratosphere. And I think he did break the sound barrier. And a little fun fact,
That would be crazy. Imagine just free falling, breaking the sound barrier.
Felix
Super
what?
Baumgartner. He had to practice the jump in which he jumped from the stratosphere for over like 5, maybe 8, 9 months or something like that. Maybe even longer.
Type in Red Bull.
Gardner, stratosphere jump. Get it.
Right there, I'm straight with Daredevil.
Oh.
Fuck. Slow ass internet. What are we paying you for?
Little transition
go.
time.
Yeah, he did break the sound barrier. Fall.
So just so we have it for reference.
Says Felix Baumgartner broke the sound barrier in free fall on October 15, 12.
He had to jump like he had to make sure he jumped like this and without any type of rotation, because if he caught any type of rotation, if he started spinning, the amount of force he would generate while spinning would basically generate enough G's to make him like faint and would probably kill him, because by the end he would like black out and then all the blood would rush to his head and he would die. So he had to make sure that he didn't spin enough to counteract the G-force.
There's like a certain rule when it comes to pilots ejecting from a fighter jet. You can't like as soon as you hit the eject button, if you get shot out and you flail your arms are gonna get snapped and like basically just become rubber bands. And so it's kind of like the same thing. Like if he jumped and something happened and like he put his arm out, his arm's just gonna go instantly and just be fucking just connected by like skin and flesh at that point, you know? So it's just like, yeah, there he probably had to jump a certain way, had to take into account the spin and how he was falling, you know?
You're referencing, I think you're referencing a specific time where a guy ejected at Mach speed, in which, yeah, that did rip his ship. But Mach speed, I think, is way faster than the 800 in
He
which.
went Mach 1.25. He went faster.
Yeah. I think the guy that you're referencing though was like at like Mach 2 or Mach 3 and was like the only person to fucking have.
This motherfucker's Sonic Boom.
Yeah. That shit'll blow your shit off. But yeah, since he didn't come out with any injuries, so the other guy that you're probably referencing was definitely going faster.
To think that he came out of that with no injuries.
He was in a fucking flight suit. That dude's like in a space suit.
Yeah, he had like he needed that like
Yeah,
heat
yeah,
resistance
exactly.
and all that shit though because he was going through like atmosphere.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, he was in
Bro,
the stratosphere.
Because even when you skydive, you don't free fall for that long. Like you free fall, but they pull your chute pretty high
Yeah.
up. He fell for almost 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So you're just like
you have like that watch or something.
You're just like,
that tells
dang
you
shit, bro.
like,
Like,
where you're at. Like they always look for their watch, like not just time, but yeah, like it tells you what the pressure is.
Bro, the first minute you're probably like, damn, this has been a minute.
you're just going faster and faster and faster.
Damn,
and
this
faster.
has been a whole.
How
This
did
is
he
like.
slow his parachute? I was like, how did he slow?
Well,
his
again, that's
parachute?
the other thing too. Is that like for these missions, they're all like they're way higher than traditional skydiving would be, right? Like that's because that's the whole point of this is that,
Go to the edge of space.
yeah, from
Yep.
127,000 feet up in the air. So what's typical skydiving?
But honestly,
30,000.
The Red Bull like athletic team when they do shit like this, like they push it. They find motherfuckers that are really like pushing the boundaries.
Oh yeah, they do.
I seen the longest like free fall for like longest in air ski jump, and like what that dude had to go through was crazy.
So
10,000.
typical skydiving is 10,000 feet.
Christ.
So that Red Bull, the Red Bull stunt was 12 times.
That dude was
that
24 and a half
Crazy.
miles up. He was 24 and a half miles.
That's insane. That's fucking insane.
12
oh my
times.
fucking god!
Oh my!
The edge of space. Just to look up in the air and be like a mile up, I'm like, I can't even see that high.
24.5 miles.
Holy shit! Fuck balls, that's high.
That's how far it is from space.
Like 3
Years. That's only 12,000.
The track around the football field was always
Yeah,
like,
but I said
you
4
do
times.
4 laps, it's a mile.
4 full laps is a mile.
Yeah,
That's what they
it's
were
1,600 meters. Yeah.
Yeah.
400 meters is 1 lap.
Yeah.
100 meters is the one
racetrack
straight
around
away.
the football field was the same shit for me.
Yeah. So you get 4 of those one tracks. You get a 1 full track that's circular. You stretch it out into a straight line. You multiply it by 4. That's a full mile, and then you fucking do that 24 times.
24 and a half of those.
Dude, do you understand how long one of those full tracks looks in just a straight line? Then you multiply that by 4. What the fuck?
Explain it in terms of grain of rice.
yeah, exactly.
In the length of pennies. How many pennies?
Yeah,
is
that was that's a funny scene from Jarhead. He's like,
I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna say.
oh god.
It's probably gay.
No, it's probably a little bit.
Yep. Anyway, I can already tell you. yeah. There we go. I already knew where it was going.
So that's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
dude.
He was really high. He's been higher than any of us.
So that means that
Hi, boys.
where do you pull? Where do you pull when you're skydiving?
He never pulled.
Is it like 4,000 feet or something like
It has to be like 4 2.
But he's going stupid fucking fast. He had a special like parachute.
that? Like he had to do a lot. He probably had like like 3-4 backup shoots too.
What's the average speed, the average free fall speed of a regular skydiver? Because I don't think it's 836 miles.
No
an hour.
fucking way, bro.
When do they? I feel like it's gotta be around like 4,000 feet. That
Dude,
they
typical
pull.
skydiving free fall speed.
Speed, typical skydiving speed. Why do you have captains?
About 120 miles per hour.
Yeah,
sense.
not even fucking close.
No.
Well, wait, different factors affect what your terminal velocity is.
Probably depending on if you're just free falling or if you're going like
Mass,
full
say,
like
drag, on average,
fucking
terminal
like
velocity
full
per kilometer.
torpedo into it. You know what I mean?
But you're not getting that same difference that you would be like going fucking
836 miles an hour compared to 120 is like night and day.
Oh shit. Yeah.
8 times.
That's like the
speed.
difference between me
Or
and
7
like a
times.
newborn.
What's the lowest somebody's ever pulled at?
Yeah.
Like
Bro, if Felix decided to just go like this, like Batman does in the Arkham games, to just like extend his cape at 834 miles per hour, he would have just his whole bottom half would have just like decompressed and just fucking
Ripped his
Yeah.
arms off. his
murdered his shit. Exactly. He wouldn't even be able to do it.
Oh, you deploy a parachute about 15,
Yeah, 2,000.
5,000
Has to be
feet.
2,000.
So halfway through.
about 3,000 feet.
Okay.
3,000
That's a little lower than.
So we were like both
That's
like
good.
between.
So you can kind of extend it, dude. Honestly, I feel like I've seen people who pull from lower.
That's what I'm
That's what
saying.
she
Like,
said.
what's the lowest somebody's ever like opened their parachute while skydiving
Bro, honestly,
How close can I get to dying?
and live? Like,
I say 3,000 feet is probably
I
how
feel
close
like
you want to get
someone's
dying.
definitely pulled it at like 2,000 or like 1,500 thousand.
Yeah, probably not out of
What's
like
the lowest?
one.
What's the
We're
lowest
probably
reported like?
fucking up, and we're like fuck, and finally pulled it.
you guys down? I'm down.
Lowest reported
I'm
skydiving.
down to skydive.
I'm not going anywhere around this fucking place. We gotta go
I'll do
somewhere
it.
legit. The places around here, people die there.
Yeah, people die.
Yeah, I'll definitely go skydiving. Let's look it up.
I'll go bungee jumping or skydiving, honestly.
85 feet is the lowest.
No way.
He pulled it at 85 feet.
And live?
A jump from 85.
No, which he attempted to claim.
It says it's a
Oh.
jump from 85.
This is an AI overview, by the way.
Oh, a jump. All right, but what's all right?
Oh, okay. I get it.
Scroll down a little bit more. Then.
So he's not free falling from the.
You're
sky.
right.
Oh wait, world's lowest parachute jump attempt.
Skydive.
Pull it up. Pull it up.
Lowest
Do
reported
it.
skydive.
It's literally jump, bang, crash. That's what the fucking description says. Ah, yes. Dial up.
Anyway, let's not do this. Never mind. Let's not try to review this.
Dial up.
I want you to log in to see the video.
I'm banned on Facebook.
Says Chris.
For being indecent.
It's never been banned on anything.
For being indecent.
No, I don't even use it though. That's the thing.
They looked at your profile and they're like, damn, it's indecent. as
That's why I think
fuck,
like
man.
my shit might have gotten hacked. Or
They're
something.
like, Scully? No.
Chris is mad indecent.
No, they saw that picture of you and your dog that you have for your YouTube thumbnail, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna block
I
it.
don't even.
Is this a lesbian chick?
He's thinking about it.
I'm trying. I don't think I even have that. Yeah, because I don't really use that at all.
You need a new picture, is what they're saying.
The guy in Reddit skydiving says 1,900 feet hop and pop is my lowest exit.
Gang shit. Home slice ice.
Damn,
How's your wrist, by the way?
been all right.
You only did a 400-foot jump and
I
top.
haven't had
That's
any
gay.
problems with it. I've been trying to like work it while I've been like looking up like exercise.
trying to
while
work
I'm
it?
Trying to like.
Chris trying to work it.
By the way, peeps, we need to figure out what we're gonna do in May and or June for the THC trip.
In May.
That's the kind of talk that we gotta have.
Let's talk about that after. We only got a little bit left before we hit an hour, right?
Actually, I think that we are good to go ahead and wrap things up right here.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on Talking High Culture. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget that THCV does help reduce weight loss, at least in some capacity. So same with CBD. And cannabis has all these miracle cannabinoids, miracle molecules that are in there. We're always figuring out more and more each day about this plant. So join us here on Talking High Culture as we continue discovering these benefits.